All is fair in these three things: love, war, and most importantly, Mario Kart. This series is known by many for being a fun, couch co-op game full of bright colors, lovable and memorable characters, and blue shells. This is the start of a retrospective series I plan to do with my good friend Sporadic. We have both been friends for a very long time and have been heavily invested in this series of kart racers. While initially we both were just going to start from Mario Kart on the SNES all the way up until 8, we both just thought it was a good idea to go at this in reverse order, so it would be like going back in time.
Go back in time indeed. I've been 10 toes deep into this series for over 10 years, Virtual and I going back nearly 7, and I can safely say this series is one of the major backbones of our friendship. Having the chance to come on here for this finally gives me the chance to actually sort out my thoughts on each game in the series, and maybe throw in some stories I've got from each and every single game, whether it was me flying solo at 4 in the morning or with Virtual and Toe at 5 in the morning.
Mario Kart 8 is one hell of a game, and has been the game I arguably was the most excited about and actually paid attention to before it launched on the Wii U back in spring of 2014. With each game, I kinda played them later rather than at the initial release date. Granted, I did this with other games, but this one was just worth being hype over. The weather for this time of year, and the overall stress-free life we both had due to being high school students, led us to constantly talk about crazy ideas both of us had for track ideas and remakes and such. Each new trailer and gameplay reveal felt like urgent news rather than just a trailer. For instance, the reveal trailer for an N64 Rainbow Road. This rendition of the famous track felt significant, and at this point never was a track that was updated at all, but I can assure you after seeing it, every fan of Rainbow Road reacted something like this.
How are you? Fine, thank you.
Oh my god!
64's Rainbow Road. That was a surprise. I was definitely impressed when I first saw the course in action. I still remember when Virtual brought it to my attention. It was the first time in a long while I had to make sure my voice didn't carry, but my first words were, holy sh. I'm gonna be honest though. A part of me is still disappointed that 64RR was separated into sections, but at the same time, I can understand why. It's not too long for people to lose their minds, and long enough for a lot of stuff to happen. Other than that, the 64RR remake was as fun to run through as the original, and really, I got nothing else on that. Speaking of reveal trailers, there were several points in time where the racers were confirmed in trailers, and most of them were... honestly, I don't remember most of them. Only one that comes to mind though is the Koopalings. A lot of people were actually disappointed by a lot of the reveals at first, mainly because of the ratio of the drivers, more so the Koopa driver to everyone else ratio. I heard that a lot more than anything else. The Koopalings are forgivable. Other racers on the other hand, yes, pink gold lead poisoning and baby space princess, I'm looking at the two of you.
With all this said, the main build-up to release felt special due to all the information coming out and being able to speculate and be there for when they drop a new character. I really enjoyed seeing the new courses and features shown off, which as a whole made Mario Kart 8 what it is now. Plus, seeing the game and how it looked in general, it truly felt like a next-generation experience compared to previous games. Mario Kart games have always looked charming and unique, but seeing the level of polish in this game on the visuals alone made it worth being excited for. It made seeing old tracks and the new ones feel updated in ways I never thought possible. The addition of zero gravity in this game was also interesting, making it appeal to old and new fans alike. Plus, having a defining trait made the game feel brand new, at least to my point of view. I remember getting home from school, getting excited to play the game, and immediately booting the game up as soon as I got home.
It was like Christmas morning.
Oh wait, wrong series. Never mind.
It was like Christmas morning, but instead with, well...
Mario Kart 8!
The character selection is one of, if not the most important parts of these games. I mean, you can't have Mario Kart without Daisy for Christ's sake. Each game had smaller rosters starting out with a general list of 8. However, there were 7 members who were always in the game regardless, those characters being Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, Toad, Bowser, and Donkey Kong. The last character that took the 8th spot was either Wario or Koopa Troopa, depending on the game. This, however, did change starting out with Double Dash, and from there the roster got marginally larger over the span of each new title. I mean, they even added Rob in Mario Kart DS, which was a huge surprise. The last game was 7, which had 16 characters, and while some didn't return this game, the rest did end up coming back. This right here is the main roster for Mario Kart 8, and to me, I can really appreciate it as a whole. You have what I would deem the essential characters, or original 9, in a few fan favorites being Daisy, Waluigi, and Rosalina. They added a baby form to both Daisy and Rosalina, for some reason, and the 7 Koopalings, which I feel a bit torn about, because on one hand it's nice to see them all in the game, but where is Bowser Jr.? But on the flip side, it is the first time you can ever play as them in a Mario Kart game, and even later they were playable in Smash 4 on the Wii U. That should be about all, honestly, even with the Koopalings taking most of the spotlight. Huh? Wait. They added Pink? Gold? Peach?
Wait, what?
Regardless, the roster was solid, but with missing characters, I felt a bit underwhelmed. I miss being able to play as Dry Bowser, Dry Bones, and even would have loved to play as King Boo, but they weren't in the roster. The roster was fine, but to me, it felt a little lacking.
The one thing Nintendo didn't slack off on was, of all things, the weight classes. I'm pretty sure 8 Vanilla is the same as Deluxe in this aspect, but the last time I looked, there was 5 to 7 weight classes, correct me if I'm wrong. For the most part, in this game, the characters basically define the weight class of whatever you're driving. And that brings me to whatever you want to drive. Literally, whatever you want to drive. Returning from Mario Kart 7, you can mix and match 3 different vehicle body parts, a body, a set of wheels, and a glider. In my honest opinion, this gimmick is going to be here to stay for a long time. On top of that, motorcycles make a return from Mario Kart Wii. And for the first time in the series, ATVs are available to use. A lot of the bodies are new to the series, though some are fan favorites from earlier games, including, but not limited to, ever so famous B-Dasher from MKDS, the Koopa Clown Car from Mario Kart 7, and the ever so classic pipe frame ever since the very first game. Some of the new bodies, however, are brand new to the series, and honestly, some of them are really freaking creative. For example, when Dry Bowser was released as DLC, his vehicle was a 3-wheeler. Alongside that, there was also a car in the shape of a horse carriage, a stuffed teddy bear, a stuffed Wiggler. Wait, who the hell killed Wiggler? I was wondering where he went. When it comes to races, actually choosing what you want to roll with is more so personal preference. Same can't be said for time trials, however. Believe it or not, all the body parts have their own personal stat boosts and debuffs to them. Some parts do better on asphalt, others do better on dirt roads, others do best underwater, so on and so forth. First time I took an item and seriously experimented with it, I was busy mixing and matching for, 4 hours? Maybe 5? It also brought upon the time I burned out at the start of GCN Dry Desert over 15 times in a row.
So with the carts out the way, that means you're all set off to go on the track. But which do you choose from? The choices. No, not now. Let's start with the Nitro Cups, or the new tracks I should say. There are the tracks that utilize new features and, by design, are fresh compared to the previous ones. For instance, in Mario Kart Wii, they added bikes to the mix, so tracks like DK Summit can be an easy and fun way to show stuff off like the utility of said bike. The same thing can be said about gliders in Mario Kart 7, since in a lot of courses, they had whole sections where you just glided across the sky mid-race. So, following the exact pattern, let's take a look at 8 with Zero Gravity. Each cup in the Nitro series of races utilizes ZG in a cool way, whether it's riding on the side of the walls in Thwomp Ruins or driving upside down in Mario's Circuit. It all adds a unique layer to the courses. I mean, just look at the designs of each of the courses. They all stand out to me right off the get-go since the visuals, as mentioned, really made the tracks pop out. and the game as a whole. Some of the courses here are some of my all-time favorites based on design alone, and also how fun they were to play. Courses like Sunshine Airport, where you're literally driving amongst an airplane at an airport. The utilization of zero gravity here as you drive as the plane flies and zoom across the sky really made my eyes light up with pure delight. Also, fun fact, you can see the giant turtle rock from Koopa Troopa Beach in MK64 very far into the distance. Really nice touch. The next course I can think of design-wise that interested me would be Electrodrome, due to it being, well, I mean, look at this course. It's all filled with neon lights and gives off this rave-like atmosphere that legit makes me enjoy running this course anytime. It reminds me of Neo Bowser City from Mario Kart 7, but with a mix of Electron Avenue from Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Even courses I never mentioned were all fun to play through each time, and all share this wonderful sense of wonder, I guess? These courses are great, and I spend lots of time just admiring how fun they are to play.
Y'all done with the fancy brand new courses now? Yeah? Cool. Alright then. That said, welcome to the retro courses. Debuting in Mario Kart DS, this list of courses gives the newer players of the series an updated taste of what the courses were like back in the earlier games. And as they keep adding games to the series, they've got more courses to potentially bring back. Nintendo also put the retro courses in order from least to most difficult. This time around, there's quite an interesting lineup, featuring Mario Circuit from Mario Kart Super Circuit, Yoshi Valley from Mario Kart 64, Grumble Volcano from Mario Kart Wii, and Tick Tock Clock, a track based off the course from Super Mario 64, back from Mario Kart DS. Each of the retro tracks were also given a new look, some more so than others. First up, Music Park. This orchestral raceway takes you through a series of instruments as they either blare their sounds in blazing glory or sound off as you drive over them. Just be careful of the music notes at the end of the track. It looks almost exactly like its original counterpart, just glossier. I can't lie, a part of me wanted there to be a new aspect of the track, yet at the same time, this track came from the game that debuted the whole underwater and gliding gimmick. Nonetheless, the track is still fun to run through either in a race or in a time trial. Up next is Wario Stadium. No, not the one from MK64, I'm talking about the one from Mario Kart DS. This track got an overhaul, with one section being entirely zero gravity, another section almost right after that being submerged in water, albeit it's rather small, and to top that off, there's a ramp right after that to fly right into the Metal Mario Kart banner. Trust me, one doesn't simply play this game without hitting the Metal Mario Kart banner at least 5 times. Whether it's on DS Wario Stadium, Nitro Mario Circuit, or flip-flopping between the two of them. Trust me. That's the main basis of the retro tracks. Either they look, and in some cases, play just like how they used to, or they've gone through a bit of an overhaul and the track's playstyle is either slightly different or completely different.
Another big defining trait of this game was its music. Now with Mario Kart music in general, it really isn't the focus, but that doesn't mean the series pulls back on that department. Granted, in the past, a lot of music started to feel samey, but still sounded just as good in my honest opinion. I mean, I listen to the Mario Kart Wii soundtrack almost daily while I do other things. The thing that makes me say it's samey is mainly after this game came closer to release. They got live performers to play the songs, and it really went for this jazzy/swing vibe for the whole soundtrack. Each song felt so important to the enjoyment of the game, and really fit each track very well, honestly. I even remember going through a course known as Cloud Top Cruise for the first time, and realizing very quickly that there's a reference to Mario Galaxy, which is my all-time favorite 3D Mario game to this day. I can tell Nintendo spent a long time trying to get these songs to sound as great as they possibly can, and the end result was just fantastic. I know I like to say most game soundtracks are good and how I'll gush about them, but for me, a lot of video game music is just great, and I can tell a lot of effort was put into it, so I really just have to credit it a lot. Like, a lot.
The multiplayer aspect. Some find solace in this function, others lose their sanity. Multiplayer is one of the most major backbones in the Mario Kart series. As a matter of fact, I started out playing online back on Mario Kart Wii when the Nintendo WFC servers were still up and running. When MK8 was released, I was online for the better part of a year and a half, and I had some pretty mixed results. Put bluntly, I was either spanking people left and right, being spanked by people left and right, or I had some genuine competition on my hands, be it from item luck, internet lag, or just a genuine difference in skill.
Mario Kart 8 still has local co-op, of course, whether it's split screen or local co-op. The backbone of Mario Kart 8 has always been through multiplayer. Overall, the game still runs well in these modes, however the bulk of multiplayer, especially as of recently, has been through online, and while sometimes the servers do lag, I've had pretty good stable races online. I always like going through this mode just to stockpile on coins, and even to some extent test out new kart combos in online scenarios. So, Mario Kart games usually just end after they release, right? I mean, yeah, they had free DLC in the form of... Oh. Huh. Well, alright then. But what if I said Mario Kart 8 added paid downloadable content? Well, they did, and it was something I sort of expected to happen with the current climate of gaming. The DLCs were separated into 2 packs, and released separately. I will admit I was hesitant at the time to even cave in and purchase a DLC, despite buying more content for games in the past, but this time I felt like I wanted to wait out and see what they added. Pack 1 of the DLC included Link from The Legend of Zelda?
What?
That alone is fantastic, but it also included the Hyrule Castle course, which was beautifully put together. Not only that, but Mute City from F-Zero is now a playable course? These, along with a few other popular returning courses, made DLC Pack 1 very interesting. It did, however, add 2 new characters, along with Link, that I would deem as just okay. I really love the inclusion of the new courses in this pack, as well as some of the interesting returning ones. New karts were also added, the most notable being the B Dasher and Blue Falcon. Another thing is the music for each of these tracks, and even the ones added in the Retro Cup, were really well put together, and you can tell they didn't settle for less even with this being optional content to buy. The fact they remastered Mute City to make it fit this jazzy but also rock and roll vibe really takes the cake, along with the theme for Hyrule Castle. You can just tell they put as much passion as they did with the main game into this very first DLC for the series, and I personally think it was very well worth the money. So, with the hype fest that was DLC Pack 1 out of the way, what's in store for 2? Yep, that's right, a crossover with Animal Crossing. As a huge fan of the franchise, I was ecstatic to even see these games collide. The new characters that were included were the adorable Isabelle and Villager, and also a really big return, which was Dry Bowser from Mario Kart Wii. To me, this was insane, and as an avid fan of Mario Kart Wii, this made my day. The courses they added here were also fantastic, including the new course based on Animal Crossing, and the return of the War Zone, I mean Baby Park, and also Big Blue from F-Zero? Huh? All these courses were amazing and all felt refined as a whole when playing. Even now when replaying through the Animal Crossing course, I noticed little details like how KK Slider is performing on the sidelines and Rover was there, and just so many iconic characters from the series show up in this scenic track. Oh, and not to mention, this course changes seasons randomly spanning from spring, summer, fall, and winter. I was madly in love with DLC Pack 2 over 1, since they brought back things I adored so much about the franchise, such as Dry Bowser, and even included Animal Crossing reps as well. Yet again, with the music, it was just as good, and throughout playing, I loved the remastered songs for the retro courses, and especially the new courses such as Big Blue and Animal Crossing. They took already existing themes that I would say define these games, and cranked them up to 11. As a whole, the DLC rounds up and adds 4 cups with 16 new tracks that were all a blast to play. Except you. You weren't. Regardless, I had fun running through these, and on top of this, the new CC was added called 200cc. This made the races feel extremely fast, and to a lot of people, myself included, struggled playing this at launch. I was so adjusted to 150 to where the boost in speed threw me off a whole lot. It was still really fun, and now after a few years, I finally come around and can finally say I enjoyed this mode as a whole.
2,000 years later.
So, a few years pass and Nintendo has released all the content they want on Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. With free and paid DLC and a fun game as a whole, they ride off into the sunset and move on. Or so we thought. Fast forward to Nintendo announcing a press conference about the Nintendo Switch, and all sorts of new games and features got unveiled. From The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild to ARMS, it was crazy to see what they were up to. The console was well received, and even more than the Wii U, which was a huge turnaround for the company. But what caught me off guard, and a lot of others, was a port of Mario Kart 8, known as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a new and improved version of the original, hence the name, and added a lot of brand new additions, returning characters such as King Boo, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr., and even the newly added Inklings from Splatoon. Not only that, but new carts were included, most notably the Koopa Clown cart. The Feather and Ghost item make a return, along with a proper battle mode for these games. I was excited more than ever to finally have a new battle mode to play with friends, since some of my fondest memories of these games are just playing battle mode like I did back on the DS. The modes here are basically what I wanted, except I never really found myself playing this game's battle mode, and I instead just go back to the DS or other games instead. It's not a bad mode by any means, but I will admit playing Renegade Roundup and Shine Runners is super fun with friends or even the harder CPUs. The Deluxe version just adds all the game's DLC and new features named above, but they did a few notable things such as adding a third drift boost, which I loved the addition of. It made for interesting experimentation when I got a hold of the game, and if used the right way, it can be a game changer. They also added the ability to now carry 2 items at once, which makes playing Deluxe stand out a bit more in my eyes. The only real gripe I have with this is the lack of being able to switch out items like you were able to in Double Dash. While this game adds a lot, the one thing I noticed was a major difference in tech in the game, that being the mechanic known as fire hopping. I won't get into the details, but the gist of it is it's a technique in Mario Kart 8 used mainly in time trials. This allows you to extend a boost from a power slide, ramp, or mushrooms, which can make for going for best times a lot more interesting. This feature got cut. Now, with the lack of this, time trials doesn't suffer in the slightest, but to some, I'd imagine it was a bit of a disappointment. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe really does work as an enhanced port of a otherwise fantastic game. It does add things that I was wanting, such as characters and a proper battle mode that isn't this, and overall it just improves the game's visual quality and frame rate. Granted, it's by 1 frame, but you know, hey, it's something. They also made the menus a little more concise and compact rather than having a bunch of things on screen, which is nice because I think it's just a nice little quality of life UI sort of change, and that's always appreciated for me, as long as they don't change too many things. Oh, I also forgot to mention that they added another character that wasn't shown in the trailers as far as I was aware, but the other character is a palette swap of Metal Mario known as Golden Mario. To me, Golden Mario wasn't that special or that cool of an addition, but I feel like he serves as an interesting reward for actually getting first place on all the 200cc cups. I still have yet to do this on my own save because I kind of just play Mario Kart here and there, but I am working towards getting this game's 100% completion, and that is part of it, so I will say it is a nice little reward to go for, but it doesn't really change too much. As an avid fan of the series, Mario Kart 8 was a great game, and probably the one I actively played the most other than Wii and Double Dash. I have fond memories of the game, and really enjoyed a lot of the new additions that were added via DLC on the Wii U or on the Deluxe version for Switch. From the build-up before the game even came out to the actual release, this game just has so much significance to me. So go ahead, relax, play some Mario Kart, and be on the lookout for blue shells. Thanks for watching.